Hello, my name is Olorotimiosha. This video is for people who are interested in law school, right? So I was interested in going to law school since I was a kid. So I got used to watching uh, dramas, since Nigeria about lawyers, right? So, and there's a plethora of courtroom dramas and films that you can watch, and I'm going to provide you a list. It's a good idea to watch these. In fact, law schools also recommend them. I remembered, I remember when I was going to law school, and I went for an orientation. They recommended we watch the Paper Chase. So Paper Chase is one you can watch. It's a very old film. You can watch Paper Chase. I don't know why law schools like to recommend that. And then when you get into law school, you're going to have at least one professor who's going to ask you to watch To Kill a Mockingbird, right? To Kill a Mockingbird. And that was, I've seen that movie. The film was done by Gregory Peck, very good. The book as well, there's a book by Harper Lee. I have the book. Harper Lee, that's the author, To Kill a Mockingbird. I just remembered Gregory Peck did another very interesting movie. I think it's a 1940s movie. Gregory Peck acted in The Paradigm Case. The Paradigm Case. It was an Alfred Hitchcock movie with respect to a courtroom drama. So you want to watch good courtroom dramas. But my favorite all-time courtroom drama, of course, is A Few Good Men. Normally, I post it every now and then on my Facebook feed. A Few Good Men, starring the winning attorney was Tom Cruise. Of course, there was Demi Moore. There was Kevin Bacon, Jack Nicholson. They were all brilliant. That's where Jack Nicholson says you can't handle the truth. So, apart from watching courtroom dramas, right, films on courtroom drama, you can watch documentaries like Forensic Files. I love watching Forensic Files. That's going to help you with evidence, with criminal law, criminal procedure. Forensic Files, it gets you used to how lawyers gather evidence, right, and put a crime. They dissect, analyze a crime scene to present a case and the theory of the case or whatever in court. So Forensic Files, very important. You can watch those. There lots of the episodes are available. You can stream them, whatever. And now back to films again. Of course, there's Law and Order that everybody watches. Law and Order Special Victims Unit, starring Ice-T and is it Mariska Hargitay. It's been going on for a long time. For British movies, I loved Shadow of the Noose. Right, it's a true story about the life of Edward Marshall Hall. It was a British series, pretty old, but I loved it. Shadow of the Noose, starring Jonathan Hyde as Edward Marshall Hall. It was a great English barrister. And there are other British films as Main Chance, there's Rumple of the Old Bailey. These I watched, when I was a kid in Nigeria. Rumple of the Old Bailey. And there's Crown Courts. Crown Courts is excellent. If you could get Crown Courts, their series. I think they started in the 60s in England. They're British courtroom dramas, that are, they are basically depicting a courtroom scene, a case, and even though it's fiction, but the jury are actually real people, and they get to decide. But it's very well done, very well packaged. And regarding films, Primal Fear, very good. Primal Fear, starring Richard Gere and Ed Norton, right? Which had a fantastic, and was Laura Finney? I can't remember her last name. She was in the HBO's series of John Adams' wife. Excellent movie. Great plot twist in the end. That's Primal Fear. Of course, there's Erin Brockovich starring Julia Roberts, and there's a civil action, right? So those are true courtroom drama, courtroom legal dramas. A civil action, was on a true environmental pollution case, starring John Travolta. Was a good movie, and Erin Brockovich as well, very famous. She was a paralegal, and so those inspire you, they motivate you, and give you, a passion for wanting, why you want to go to law school, to help fight social injustice, so, by the way, while you watch these movies, right, these movies also help you in crafting your essay that you're going to need for law school. Because law school is not just about the numbers. It's not just about having a great LSAT score. And hey, your LSAT score is your LSAT score. But if you can tell a great story, and watching these movies, these dramas will help you. For instance, Associate Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, she mentioned that she was inspired to go to law school from watching the Perry Mason series as a kid. So Perry Mason is good. I watched Perry Mason series as well. Apart from Perry Mason, there's another guy, Jake and the Fat Man, right? William Conrad. You can see that Jake and the Fat Man, another courtroom drama series. So there are lots of options, lots of choices. They're separate but equal, right? The Thurgood Marshall story about the separate but equal case about Brown versus Board of Education, starring Sidney Poitier as Thurgood Marshall, right? So that's a good one as well to see. I saw that when I was in Nigeria. Separate but equal. So lots of great options. There's The Firm, right? There's The Firm, the film by John Grisham, starring Tom Cruise. Now, John Grisham is somebody, if you can get John Grisham's books. So he's a former lawyer. Many people don't know he was a former lawyer who practiced in criminal law for about a decade before he turned to writing. I think he got his law degree from University of Mississippi Law, and he turned into writing. He's one of the best, most prolific novelists in crime thrillers, and his characters are normally lawyers, and he's always right. He typically writes about stuff to do with law, and of course, because he was a practicing attorney. Books that he's done that I read that I liked. I like The Associate. That's John Grisham, very good book. The Associate, of course, like I said, he did The Firm. He wrote The Firm. There's Boys from Biloxi. The Boys from Biloxi, right? Pretty good one. I liked that a lot. The Boys from Biloxi. And who else? So John Grisham, if you can get his books, that's very, John Grisham's very good. You can get his books. What are the books and films? So there's, you have a vast range of choices to pick. By the way, John Grisham also wrote Pelican Brief. I've seen the movie with Julia Roberts and Denzel Washington. So things that have to do with legal drama, evidence, because, criminal law, you find that interesting, right, when you're in law school. And what are the courtroom dramas are there? Tons of them. I know I've seen loads of courtroom series. Anyway, I'm going to stop this video here, and if I think about any more books, and oh, by the way, you should read Concept of Law. Concept of Law, that's a book. H.L.A. Hart, Concept of Law. The Concept of Law, you should read that. You should read Plato's Republic, right? That's going to help you start thinking about the government, constitutional law. Concept of Law, very good book, right? So that's going to help you with respect to thinking about law. And there's another book by Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams was she went to Yale Law School. Of course, she ran for Senate for governor of Georgia. She didn't. She narrowly lost, but she was a writer. She had a pen name, and I read one of her books, When Justice Sleeps. Very good book. So it's about someone who graduated from, I guess it was Yale Law School, and she had to figure out this crime, and very interesting. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. So lots of choices to pick from, and if I think of any more, I will actually drop a list, and I'll do another video. My name is Oluro Timosha. I'll keep you posted. Thank you.